During his first year, before communication with words is possible, a baby's only hope of summoning help is to let out a piercing cry. Crying is an ancient alarm call that humans share with many other animals, and it produces a powerful parental response. At first, the baby's cry is a nonspecific signal telling his parents he's unhappy, but not the reason why. As time passes, parents can relate the different kinds of crying to different types of distress. Baby early crying. The first time a baby cries is usually immediately after the birth, as an expression of shock at the sudden change of environment. Instead of being worried, most parents respond with a broad grin of pleasure at the knowing that their baby's lungs are working efficiently. He cries most frequently during the first 3 months following birth, after which regular crying tails off. At around 6 weeks, his tear ducts develop sufficiently to produce his first tears. Baby bedtime crying. During the first few months, a baby becomes attached to his mother and starts to emit a cry of alarm if separated from her. He wants nothing more than to snuggle up close to her, but sleeping arrangements may not allow this. Although the parent knows that, sooner or later she will return to care for her baby, the baby doesn't know this. Should the baby's cries of alarm be routinely ignored, somewhere deep in his brain, a lack of trust starts to grow. Fear that his mother may never return begin to haunt him, and a deep-seated sense of insecurity becomes embedded. No matter how sophisticated this child becomes in later life, he may never attain a true state of self-confidence. Keeping mother and baby in close proximity to one another for at least the first few months is a simple strategy to avoid such problems. A baby needs to learn to go to sleep by himself without cuddling or feeding, but this doesn't mean that the mother has to be totally absent. Keeping a crib in the parent's room for the first few months gives the baby a sense of being near his mother, safe and secure. Once used to this idea, being moved to another room at, say, 6 months is then far less traumatic for him. Toddlers crying. Cries of frustration usually come later on when a toddler is desperately trying to achieve something but fails. This type of crying increases as the baby begins to flex his muscles and start to explore the environment, but before he's able to do so efficiently. In extreme cases, it may lead to breath holding, where the toddler holds his breath until his face goes from red to blue. He may even lose consciousness. Such bouts often occur during a temper tantrum. Why babies cry? There are 7 reasons why babies cry: pain, discomfort, hunger, loneliness, overstimulation, understimulation, or frustration. A sensitive parent soon tells one type of cry from another. Pain is usually expressed with sharp, piercing cries. A baby has no clear idea what's wrong and can't distinguish between a minor and a major hurt, so needs to attract a parent quickly. He often stops crying when comforted and continues only if in acute pain. Persistent crying may indicate colic. A baby cries in discomfort when he soils himself, is too hot or too cold, or if his delicate skin is in contact with a rough surface. Cries often start quietly and get louder as the discomfort escalates. Cries of hunger can be easy to detect by rhythm and the time they occur. When a baby's very hungry, his cries are loud and urgent, with short pauses for breath. The easiest crying to pacify is the sad-sounding, repetitive crying that arises when a baby starts to feel that he's been abandoned. No more is needed here than to be held, or to see a close-up of a smiling parental face. A baby may also cry if he's overstimulated or understimulated. If very tired, these cries are wingy and whiny, and the baby may rub his eyes.